going on, everyone? JPS back for another video, and today we will be reacting to things in Australia that would send Americans into a coma. And this video comes from Kobe Walker, will be linked in the description. And the title just has me a bit confused. What is going to send us into a coma? Would that be bad things? Good things? I'm not too sure, but I'm assuming this video is coming from an Australian. So let's get right into this, guys. Here we go.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those that don't know, I'm a D1 athlete at Mizzou, or the University of Missouri, in track and field and cross country, but I'm currently home in Australia.
Guess who was also a D1 athlete in cross country and track and field? I was, so I respect her for that. It's not an easy sport. Not an easy sport at all.
In track and field and cross country, but I'm currently home in Australia for summer break. However, it is the week of 4th of July, so I thought what better way than to do 14 things in Australia that would send Americans into a coma. I've got these all written down on my laptop as a list I've been collating from when I talk to my American friends and they're like so confused and perplexed, and I don't even think twice about them because they're so normal to me. But within the list that I've collated, there's some more generic than others. Some are very specific and things that I've noticed. So I'll be very keen to hear if you knew about some of these. And without further ado, I think we should get straight into it. Very on topic to start it off with. There is no culture around university or college in Australia. University is a place that you just go to kind of get your degree. They don't offer big scholarships for being in sport, and you get all these facilities and you're in a cool program. No one really roots for the university, if you will, like in sport, like they do with college. For example, for me at Mizzou, everyone loves the football team. Everyone loves the basketball team.
This is such a perfect video because she's an Australian who lives in the United States. There's no uni culture in Australia. Like, university is everything in the United States. It's emphasized too hard here, actually, because everyone's like, oh, these 4 years are going to be the best years of your life. You need to make the most of it, as if the rest of your life is not as important. Like, that is shocking to me. Oh my God. I thought universities were big. I mean, I know that they're big, and I'm not comparing Australia to Europe, but one would just assume. The wrong assumption to make, though.
Everyone loves the basketball team. Everyone in the town goes for them. And there's these massive rivalries.
What?
But we don't have that here in Australia. No one really cares as to where you go. You don't do a commitment post or anything alike. But I do think it would be really cool to have here because there's an awesome sense of belonging that I feel I have at Mizzou. I don't know, but it's just me.
For sure.
Okay, this one was random and I didn't even realize, but dual flush toilets. It's something that we have here in Australia to conserve water. So you have two options. You can either do like a full flush or a half flush. I had no idea that that wasn't a global thing, but I think it's really cool and I guess saves water.
No, it's not, we have it a little bit in the United States, but it's not like a universal thing. Most of them are just one flush, but that is a good idea for sure.
This one, okay, when I showed my American friends this, they could not believe it. Every single school has a uniform. It doesn't matter if you're in primary school, high school, single sex, co-ed. I'm personally grateful that all through school I had one because I could not imagine trying to pick an outfit every single day. I'm the biggest outfit repeater, so that would be terrible. And the uniforms have very strict rules. For me, in high school, our dress had to be at our knees. We had to have a ribbon in. We had to have the school socks on. We would walk to school in this like Panama hat, and as soon as we got to school, it would go in our locker and then we'd put our other hat on, which was more of a bucket hat and like less formal. Oh, and in winter, you have a totally different uniform than we'd wear in summer. But that is very foreign to Americans. Number 4.
Now, unless you go to private school, you don't have to wear a uniform. So personally, I'm not the biggest fan of uniform throughout school. I think that people should be able to express themselves, and clothing is a big part of how you express yourself and who you are as a person. So listen, I'm not against them either. It's just a personal choice. I would rather be able to wear what I want. But let me know your thoughts on that down below, guys.
4. Halloween is
okay.
not a big deal. If I'm being completely honest, some years I would forget that it's even coming up. And I reckon in the past like 3 years, I probably dressed up once. Not many houses have like trick-or-treat baskets either for young kids to go around in Australia. If you live in a like nice street or a street that gets around it, then maybe. but it's typically shops that do it, and you walk around and you just go trick or treat and you get your stuff, but there's no like big parties and there's definitely not a big emphasis on it here. I'm very excited though. When I go back for my next semester of college, I'll get to experience my first American Halloween, and this is what I'm thinking of wearing.
That's a good costume. Now, Halloween, as you get older, is just about partying and drinking. But when you're younger, it's huge. You know, everyone in the neighborhood, throughout the whole country, no matter what neighborhood you're in, for the most part, someone will have candy out. So it's one of my favorite holidays for sure. Never tip. I know tipping culture is not a big deal in Australia, so.
Not tip in Australia. Nowhere. Nobody tip. Not at a restaurant, not at a cafe. It's just not a thing.
Though.
It is due to the fact that we have a much higher minimum wage in Australia than they do in America, so it sits around $20 an hour depending on what you're doing. I will say though, on weekends, you will expect to pay like 10 to 15% more because employees get paid more money on the weekends. So that's what they do at restaurants and cafes to like offset the cost. When I first got to America, I had no idea how much to tip. I'm pretty sure it's like 18%, 20% that you always do. But yeah, it's very nice to not have to see the cost and then have to add more cost to the bill after you order.
Facts. I like it that they're basically putting the tip in for you by raising the prices on the weekend. So I like that idea way better. Of course. Don't have lemonade. That's not a big deal.
We don't have lemonade. If you come to Australia from America and you ask for a lemonade, guarantee you'll get a Sprite. Personally, I didn't even know the other lemonade was a thing. In the States, if you ask for a lemonade, you get like a non-carbonated drink that's made up of lemon juice, water, and sugar. Something more you would have at like a lemonade stand when you're a kid. But I absolutely love it and I wish we had it here. The one by Minute Maid, chef's kiss.
Yeah, lemonade
Next
is fire.
Is the outlets. Outlets here in Australia, you have to plug the cord into the wall and switch it on and off. It doesn't work if you just pop it in. Essentially, it's just so that you don't accidentally plug it in and then get like electrocuted. I think the safety is great, but they don't have that in the States. You just plug the cord into the wall and then all of a sudden the electricity's working.
That's why you just make sure something's not turned on before you plug it in. But I guess this is like two-factor authentication. For electricity is good. I mean, that's good.
In 2020,
single-use plastic is becoming kind of obsolete in the United States throughout a lot of different industries, which is a very good thing. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to sip with paper straws. Screw the turtles, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, you can drink your Coca-Cola. You don't even need a straw to begin with, to be honest. But yeah.
In 2021, single-use plastic got banned down under here in Australia. If you go to the grocery store, it's paper bags. If you go to a cafe or restaurant,
that's
it's
very good.
Bamboo forks, it's bamboo spoons, it's bamboo knives, it's paper straws. Which can I say, the drinking experience is really changed when you have to drink it out of a paper straw. I know it's great for the environment.
See, I swear everybody complains about this, bro. Even she's complaining. It's not as good. I will say that. It's not as good. But like, listen, bro, we're trying to be better. We're in the generation that's going to make up for the Industrial Revolution. I guess. I hope so.
The environment, but oh my goodness. There has to be a better way. Actually, at grocery stores as well, if you get a paper bag, it is not free. You have to pay 25 cents at the shopping center.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure with like frappe drinks and stuff, you can still have plastic lids and cups, but they have to be like biodegradable. Essentially, these laws came in to save the environment.
She said, I guess.
Okay, on the topic of coffee and drinks, Starbucks. It's not popular here. No one cares for it.
Starbucks failed in Australia, no? I thought it didn't exist. Not that it wasn't just not popular. Because there are a bunch of, like, they messed up. Australia is you're all about the coffee culture, got great coffee, and they come in thinking this is the problem. When an American company tries to translate their success overseas, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Australia, Asia, whatever, and they don't think about the locals, they don't think about the people that they're going to be serving there. Instead, they just try and bring the American way over. And it makes me so happy when it fails horribly, especially a corporation like Starbucks, okay? It's a bunch of wankers running that thing. They got enough money. You know what I mean? Like, that's when they fail, it makes me happy, guys. That sounds bad to say, but like, come on, we all get some joy out of that.
Bucks. It's not popular here. No one cares for it. I couldn't even tell you where the closest Starbucks is to me here at home. My theory behind it is two things. First of all, people in Australia love to support local business. It's just how it is. We don't have as many chains here, and it's for that exact reason. But secondly, everyone's a coffee snob. The coffee culture is huge. So Starbucks is just seen to be like a sugary drink with cream and syrups and just something that we don't get around very much. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Starbucks essentially failed in Australia. I do have to say though, I'm not a coffee fan myself. However, some of the shaken acai drinks, very, very good. Shout out to my American friends that put me onto that. I will say though, Starbucks drinks have rogue names like shaken espresso, turn around, touch the ground, jump up and down with a pump of extra syrup. Can we take a breath? And little side note, part of Starbucks business is that if you've been to Starbucks before, you probably realize they'll spell your name wrong. And that's on purpose. They're instructed to do that. And it was done at the start so that people would take a photo of the way their name was weirdly spelt. And it was like free promotion.
Oh my God, they misspelled my name. Look, everybody on social media. Can I get a caramel frappiato macchiato carmelado? Like, what? Their drink is just sugar. That's it.
I thought that was pretty cool when I learned that. All right, moving on, we're up to number 10.
Oh my God.
The schooling structure. We only have like kindergarten, which you go from 1 to 5. Primary school, which is prep to grade 6, so about 5 to 12. And then we have high school, which is grade 7 to grade 12. There is no middle school. We don't have separate schools to go to middle school. You just go to your primary school and then go to your high school. And even some schools go all the way from prep to grade 12. So there's none of the like sophomore, freshman, junior, senior. You just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way up to grade 12.
Damn. If you got some people that you don't like or something bad happens, they're not gonna forget. Word spreads around and stays there. But it's whatever, part of life.
Within Australia, voting is mandatory. You don't have a choice. Once you turn 18, you must vote in all the elections, whether they're federal, local, council. Everyone has to do it once they are legal. I think it is a cool way that like everyone has a say. I don't really know too much about politics, so I don't know how that like skews the data, way. But yeah, it's not compulsory in America to vote.
No. Should be compulsory. I would say that. It'd be better because like 50% of our population doesn't vote. So that's a lot of voices that aren't being heard. But I've also heard that in Australia, no one really gives a toss about who gets elected. And you guys don't really like politicians that much. Which, you know, those sentiments are definitely felt here. But I think a lot of people, their inner politicalness or inner aggression is activated through these news outlets that manipulate them and make them resent essentially the other party. So I think Australians are just more laid back. You guys are so chill, bro. Like, wish we were more like that.
Oh, now this is one that I wish would change in Australia, but unfortunately it's not. Target does not have a grocery store and does not have a pharmacy within it. In Australia, it's basically just clothes and like homewares. So you best believe as soon as I got to the States, I went straight to a Target. It is so fun. It's like a one-stop shop. But I did learn that Target in Australia is not owned by the same company or corporation that it is over in the United States. Hence, it's a bit different. But I think it is really cool that over there it has a pharmacy and it has groceries because you can get everything all at once rather than having to go to 3 different stores. So Australia, anyone in Australia, Target, if you're listening to this, can we please amend that? We're getting close to the end.
Grocery store is nice in Target. I will say Target is quite expensive though. Their prices are, you can usually get something cheaper than what you see at Target.
Last. Australia is a very, very active country. Now, my take on this is that the climate certainly helps. All year round, it is pretty nice compared to some of the weather that you get over in the States. When I first got there, it was snowing and it was negative 25 degrees Celsius. Whereas the coldest day I've had here in Brisbane in winter so far is like 11 degrees Celsius. But back to my point is people are up at 5, people are walking, running, cycling all the time. I feel that our day starts a lot earlier than the average time over in the United States. I'm an early morning person myself, so I love that. But maybe it's just the way that I've been brought up that's made me that way. Okay, last but certainly not least.
That's a good thing, trust me. Your population is less fat. Both things, the free refills that I just saw and the exercise. That's a really good thing to have an active population. Like it's everything about it is better. It's less of a strain on your man. Some of these Americans, bro, they take so much of our tax dollars. Like I know they just ruin our infrastructure because you're so damn big. Like if a, not to be rude or anything, but like if a very, like I'm talking about people who are just morbidly obese. Like you have to almost try to get that fat. When they get on a bus, you know, they're wearing down the suspension, the tires. It takes more gasoline to move the bus forward. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's one very small example of how overweight and obese people just use so many more resources. And they're eating so much food. You got to make more cows. It's more emissions from the cows farting into the air. I sound very dumb right now, but I'm telling you guys, having a very obese population, it feels, as the United States, we do have that. It feels like we're dragging the rest of the world down. And I know Australians are fit. Whenever I see videos of Australians, like vlogs or everyday life, even if I'm not reacting to them, I see some things on my own time. I'm like, damn, like the Australians are looking good. You know what I mean? You go into public in America, United States, in the cities, rural areas, no matter where you go, you're going to see some fat people, very fat. And no one wants to see that. Like, you know, I'm not against, I don't have a vendetta against fat people. Like it's all love. And what I'd love to see is a fat person trying to work on themselves, seeing them in the gym. Like people think they're going to get laughed at and stuff. No, it's the opposite. Like I will applaud you and like convince you to keep on going, keep working. But when you see fat people who just, they don't really care, they've let themselves go. And it is very depressing to see that. You know what I mean? I feel bad for them. So I don't know how this got to a whole fat talk. I'm sorry about that, guys, but that's just how I feel.
There is no free refills here. In fact, there's not many restaurants I can think of that even have the drink dispenser. It used to only be Subway, and even now they've taken them out. It's a real shame because it's so fun, and I reckon the drink tastes way better when you get the ice, the big cup, and then you fill it up with whatever you want. You just can't get free refills. If you want another drink, then you pay for it. And it'll be interesting to see if that's discontinued over in the States as the cost of living goes up.
Bro, I'm sorry. If they take free refills away, there's going to be an uprising. Those fat people are going to come out. They're going to bust through the windows, say, give us our free refills. Also, when you think about it, the price of like those soda machines to fill it up with the packets and stuff is very cheap. So that's the last thing it'll take away. Trust me. People
just keep getting free drinks. I don't know. I loved when I went to Chipotle for the first time and I got to do the drink dispenser, and also in the gas stations over in America.
Big.
There was like a wall full of them. It's awesome. That is gonna round off the 14 things in Australia that I think would send Americans into a coma. If you're Australian, let me know if you knew that these were only here in Australia. And if you're an American viewer or any other country, I want to hear. Are these surprising? Did they come as a shock?
Yeah. Very surprising. I gotta say, big shout out to Kobe Walker. Original link to her video will be in the description. But this was a great video. Like, she brought up some points that I would never have thought of because I haven't lived to Australia. Better yet, I haven't even been to Australia yet. Will be coming soon, but it was a fantastic video. And I think her unique experience being a runner, shout out to the runners in cross country out there. I appreciate that. Being a runner in the United States as an Australian allows her to compare and contrast the two cultures in a way that people who, you know, don't have that experience, if you're just an Australian but haven't really been to the United States, you're not going to be able to really point these things out like she did. So big shout out to her. Big up to all the Australians out there. Big up to all the people overweight out there too. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on any group of people. You know what I mean? That's just those are just my thoughts. I think if you want to work on yourself, you can improve at any moment in time. So anyways, I'm not trying to be all motivational and like that, but I just had to put that out there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate all of you. Hit the like button, hit subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.